The red moons of Varkesh hung low over the canyon as Commander Darius Holt trudged through the dust. The battle had ended only an hour ago, but in the echoing quiet, the world felt abandoned, like even the wind was afraid to return. His visor crackled with static. Team Bravo, respond. Only silence answered him. Darius exhaled. He was alone. The ambush that wiped out the coalition convoy had been brutal. Plasma mines, cloak drones. Whoever planned it knew exactly where the humans would pass. Darius only survived because he was thrown down a ravine by the explosion, his luck and his curse both. Now he was trying to climb back to friendly lines when he heard it. A weak, wheezing sound. At first he thought it was a wind, until the wheeze sharpened into a pained rasp. Too organic. Too close. He raised his rifle, moving with caution. Then he saw her. An alien warrior slumped against a jagged boulder, her armor glowing faintly with the blue energy sigils of the Zarkai Dominion, one of humanity's enemies. Her chest plates expanded and contracted violently, like she was suffocating inside her own armor. She looked up, and their eyes locked. Her pupils were vertical slits, glowing gold. Her skin a pale lavender. Taller than him even while sitting, built like all Zarkai. Strong, imposing, and terrifying on the battlefield. Her voice came out strained, barely a whisper. "Human, help!" Darius froze. Zarkai's soldiers didn't beg. They didn't plead. Their culture valued honor over survival. They died before they submitted. But she wasn't dying out of pride. She was suffocating. Her armor had malfunctioned. He could see the sparks. The chest compression plates were stuck, crushing her ribcage like an unrelenting vice. She tried loosening the straps with shaking claws, but her strength was fading. "Please," she rasped again. "Remove armor, can't breathe." Darius swallowed. He should walk away. The protocol was clear. Never assist an enemy combatant, especially one as dangerous as a Zarkai elite. But he wasn't built that way. With a heavy sigh, he slung his rifle across his back and approached slowly. "Don't attack me," he warned. "If I could," she rasped, "I already would have." Fair point. He knelt beside her and inspected the chest plate. It was fused with the inner mesh, twisted from some kind of impact. He saw the issue. The armor had gone into lockdown mode, sealing tight to protect her organs after damage. But the mechanism had jammed completely. She was being crushed by her own suit. "What's your name?" he asked as he gripped the release latch. She blinked slowly. "Arekila, warden rank." "No wonder you survived the blast," he muttered. "This thing's built like a tank." Her tone was dry even between gasps. Flattery will not help. He braced one foot against a rock. With a grunt, he forced the release mechanism upward. The armor hissed as the first layer of compression loosened. Arekala inhaled sharply, a desperate, rattling gulp of air. But the second and third locks were still fused shut. He wiped sweat from his forehead. "Sorry, this might hurt." "Do it," she growled. He wedged his fingers beneath the second plate and used all his strength. Muscles strained. Metal groaned. Then crack. The plate snapped open, sending a burst of cold vapor into the air. Arekala screamed, not in fear, but in relief. She slumped forward, gasping, claws digging into the dirt. Darius steadied her before she collapsed completely. "You're not done," he said. "One more lock." Her head rested against his shoulder. He felt her breath, warm and uneven. "You smell strange human," she murmured weakly. "Let's focus on not dying, okay?" He gripped the final latch. This one was worse, deeply melted into the housing. He used his combat knife, jamming it beneath the mechanism and twisting. Sparks flew. The metal gave an inch, then another. Finally, the last plate snapped loose. Arekala collapsed fully, shuddering as fresh air filled her lungs for the first time in what must have been agonizing minutes. For a moment, neither spoke. When she finally lifted her head, her eyes softened. Something strange, something he didn't expect. Human. She touched her chest, feeling the freedom. "You saved my life." Darius shrugged awkwardly. "Couldn't just leave you to suffocate. Her expression darkened, not hostile but conflicted. The Dominion teaches us humans are selfish, weak, untrustworthy, yet you risked your life for me. Well, he said, don't tell your superiors. I have a reputation to maintain. That earned a faint, breathless laugh. But the canyon trembled with distant noise. Thudding footsteps. Mechanical clicks. R.A. Calla stiffened. Scavenger bots. They devour metal and flesh. We must move. Darius helped her to her feet. Her legs shook, though she tried hiding it. No, he said firmly, taking her arm. Lean on me. I do not. You can't walk alone. Period. Her pride battled her exhaustion, and exhaustion won. Together, they moved down the canyon path. The sky darkened further as scavenger drones crawled over the rock behind them. Their red sensors blinked hungrily. R.A. Calla hissed. They smelled damaged tech. My armor is broadcasting distress signals. We turned them off, Darius said. Cannot. Damage too severe. He cursed. Then we outrun them. She gave him an incredulous look. Human, I outweigh you by half your mass. Maybe, he said, but I've carried heavier equipment on worse days. She blinked at him, a strange warmth in her eyes. You would carry me? A sworn enemy? Lady, today you're just someone trying not to die. The noises behind him grew louder, faster. He crouched. Climb. No arguments. R.A. Calla hesitated only a moment before wrapping her strong arms around his shoulders. Her weight was immense, but he locked his stance, lifted, and began running. Her breath was hot against his neck. Her claws gripped him carefully, so she wouldn't accidentally pierce him. You are strong, for a human, she murmured. I work out. She almost smiled. They dashed through the canyon as scavenger bots shrieked behind them. Metal limbs scraped stone. Red eyes glowed brighter. A drone lunged from the cliffside. Darius dodged barely. Another scuttled along the ground. R.A. Calla swung her arm, smashing it with her strength. Sparks exploded. Still running, Darius gasped, How many of these things? Too many, she said. They reached a narrow passage where the wall had split from past quakes. R.A. Calla pointed. There, inside. He squeezed inside the cracked moments before the swarm reached the entrance. The drones clawed at the rock, but the gap was too narrow for them. Darius slumped against the wall, panting hard. R.A. Calla slid from his back, landing beside him. In the dim shelter, only their breathing filled the space. After several minutes, R.A. Calla spoke softly. I owe you a life debt. You don't owe me anything. Her gaze locked with his, intense, golden. In Zarkai culture, saving one's life binds our honor to yours. I am yours to command until the debt is fulfilled. He stiffened. That's not necessary. It is sacred, she insisted. And there is more. What more? R.A. Calla hesitated, turning her face away. When a Zarkai's armor is removed by another when they are exposed so completely, it is considered intimate, deeply personal. It is an act reserved only for clanmates or potential mates. Darius nearly choked. I wasn't stripping you. I was saving your life. I know, she said gently, but the meaning remains. You touched me where no outsider should, and you did it with care, with honor. Heat rose in his face. Oh, that's complicated. Yes, she touched his arm lightly, but I am not afraid. The drones eventually left. Night settled. Darius and R.A. Calla shared a small ration pack. She grimaced at the taste, which made him laugh for the first time all day. She watched him quietly. Human, when the sun rises, will you leave me? He looked at her bruised ribs, her exhausted body, the way she leaned closer without realizing. No, he said. We get out of this together, and then we figure out the rest. Her eyes warmed, glowing softly in the darkness. For the first time, the mighty Zarkai warrior allowed herself to rest, with her head on a human shoulder. Dawn crept slowly into the canyon, soft and pale. The red moons faded, and the first blue rays of Varkesh IV's sun stretched across the cliffs. Inside the narrow rock fissure, Darius woke to a warm weight resting lightly against him. R.A. Kella. Her breathing was steady now, calmer than last night. She had slept with her head on his shoulder, her arm half draped across his chest. Not out of weakness, but trust. Darius didn't move at first. He just watched the rising light reflect off her lavender skin and the broken edges of her armor. For a moment, the war felt far away. But reality returned as soon as R.A. Kella's eyes blinked open. Golden. Focus. Strong again. She frowned slightly at how close they were. We remain like this all night? You fell asleep on me, he said, embarrassed. I see. Her gaze softened. It was comforting. A strange warmth filled his chest at the way she said it. But before anything more could be spoken, a distant thud shook dust from the canyon walls. R.A. Kella stiffened. Not scavenger drones. This is heavier. Darius peered out of the gap. A massive metallic shape moved through the canyon. A Zarkai war strider, painted in the Dominion's gold and ink-black colors. Your people, he muttered. She nodded slowly, but her expression wasn't relief. It was dread. They will kill you, Darius. He blinked. I saved their warden. Doesn't that earn me, I don't know, a handshake? R.A. Kella shook her head firmly. Zarkai do not tolerate humans. They will execute you on sight. Even if I helped you? Especially because you touched me. She swallowed hard. You removed my armor. They will see it as a violation, as blasphemy. Darius frowned. But you asked me to. They won't care. The war strider paused not far from their hiding spot, scanning the canyon. We need to leave, she whispered. Together, he said. She hesitated only a moment, then nodded. The escape. They slipped out the opposite end of the fissure. The canyon floor opened into a dry riverbed leading toward jagged cliffs. We can cross those ridge lines, R.A. Kella said. There's a neutral zone beyond the fault fields. Darius raised an eyebrow. Neutral? As in no humans and no Zarkai. Correct. Only storms, beasts, and unstable terrain. He sigh-laughed. Wonderful. A romantic getaway. She glanced at him sharply, then realized he was joking. Her eyes warmed with amusement. Their moment ended when a piercing roar filled the canyon. The war strider had spotted their footprints. Run, R.A. Kella said. They sprinted across the cracked riverbed. The strider's cannon charged behind them, glowing with deadly heat. Darius dug behind a rock. Boom! As plasma scorched the ground where he'd been standing seconds earlier. R.A. Kella shoved him forward. Move, human! Darius, he corrected. Fine, move, Darius. They climbed a steep slope, leaping across gaps in the stone as explosions shook the rocks beneath their feet. Another shot blasted the cliff edge. R.A. Kella stumbled, her damaged armor sparking, and nearly fell. Darius caught her wrist and hauled her back up with pure, stubborn strength. Seriously, he gasped. Your people build armor like it's 30 tons of steel. She huffed. And humans complain like it is a personality trait. You're not wrong. They reached the ridge and darted behind a jagged outcrop. Below, the war strider scanned the cliffs, unable to angle its cannon high enough to reach them. R.A. Kella exhaled. We have a moment. He leaned on a boulder, catching his breath. So what now? We cross into the neutral fault fields. If we survive, we reach human territory. You go home. She paused. And I will face my people. He frowned. They'll punish you for being saved? It is not the saving, she whispered, eyes lowering. It is the vulnerability. Her voice softened. When you removed my armor, you saw what only clanmates may see. What only mates may see. Her cheeks darkened with a faint violet blush. Darius shifted uncomfortably. You told me that yesterday, and I still don't fully understand it. She looked at him, really looked, then asked. He swallowed. What does it mean exactly? Armor removal. This bond thing. R.A. Calla steadied herself. When a Zarkai warrior allows someone to remove their armor, even in desperation, it creates a spiritual binding, a connection, a debt deeper than honor. If the one who removed the armor is compatible, the bond can grow. He blinked. Compatible. Like romantic? She nodded once. Darius felt heat rise in his face. You sure you're not just saying that because I carried you yesterday? Her gaze locked with his intensely. You risked yourself for me. You defied war protocol and fear. That is not nothing. He cleared his throat. Well, humans can be stupidly loyal. I noticed, she said softly. For a brief moment, the war fell away again. It was only them, two people connected by accident, honor, survival, and something deeper. But the ground suddenly shook beneath them. The rock split. A giant crack opened where they stood. Fault field. R.A. Calla shouted. The fissure yawned wide. Darius grabbed R.A. Calla. She grabbed him back, and the ground collapsed under them. The descent. They slid down a steep underground slope, illuminated by bioluminescent fungi, clinging to the walls. The air turned warm and humid as they dropped into a cavern. Darius landed hard on his back. R.A. Calla landed on top of him. He groaned. Okay, not the worst way to die. She blinked down at him, eyes narrowing. You continue to make strange statements, human. It's a coping mechanism. She stood and helped him up. The cavern was enormous, filled with glowing vines and crystalline growths. Strange creatures skittered between rocks, but none approached them. The war strider won't follow us down here, R.A. Calla said. So we're safe, he asked. For now. She faced him. But the fault labyrinth is dangerous. We must remain close. He nodded. Right. Together. A silence stretched between them, wary, warm, and charged with something unspoken. Then R.A. Calla stepped closer. Darius, she said quietly, I have not thanked you properly. You don't have to. She rested one clawed hand gently on his chest. Zarkai did not express gratitude with words alone. His breath hitched. What does that mean? He asked. It means, she murmured, stepping closer still, that actions are stronger. He swallowed. And what action did you have in mind? She gazed at him with those molten gold eyes. Allow me to guard you, fight beside you, stand with you, until the bond between us is understood. He let out the breath he'd been holding. I'd like that, he whispered. Their closeness felt natural, comfortable, dangerous in a good way. R.A. Calla's chest brushed his arm. Her voice dropped, then let the journey continue. They turned toward the dark cavern passages, stepping forward side by side. And as they walked into the glowing maze, neither noticed a pair of reflective eyes watching them from the shadows. Something ancient, something hungry, something that had claimed many travelers before them. The real danger was only beginning. The creature that stalked them moved silently through the bioluminescent cavern, its many limbs scraping across the crystal walls. Darius didn't notice it at first. R.A. Calla did. Her ears twitched. Her muscles tightened. Darius, she whispered, do not reach for your weapon slowly. Something hunts us. He didn't turn his head. Just breathe out slowly. What is it? A Gorval. Her voice was barely audible. A subterranean apex predator. Eyes like mirrors. It mimics footsteps. And it enjoys the hunt. He resisted the urge to swear. How big? She glanced upward. Large enough. The Gorval clung to the cavern ceiling. 12 feet long, armored hide glistening under the glowing fungi. Its limbs ended in hooked talons, perfect for climbing and tearing. Its mirrored eyes reflected Darius and R.A. Calla like twin ghosts. It hissed. Then it dropped. Move! R.A. Calla roared. shoving Darius aside as the beast slammed into ground where they'd stood. The cavern shook. Darius rolled, grabbing his rifle. Don't we get a break? Not in this world. R.A. Kella shouted back. The Gorval lunged at her. She dodged with fluid, warrior-like precision, though her damaged armor crackled with every movement. Darius fired. 3 bursts. The plasma bolt struck the creature's side, but barely slowed it. Great, he muttered. Armor-plated murder lizard. R.A. Kalla grabbed a crystal shard from the ground, its edges razor-sharp. When the creature lunged again, she slashed across its jaw. Dark ichor splattered the ground. It shrieked. The cavern lights flickered. Darius, she yelled. Its underbelly only weak spot. And how am I supposed to get under that thing? You are small, she shouted. Use it. He gave her a look. Really? That's the best motivation you have. But she wasn't wrong. He waited until the creature pounced at R.A. Kella again. As she dodged, Darius dug beneath its massive torso, sliding on the glowing moss. He fired upward. The plasma bolt hit the exposed soft tissue. The Gorval convulsed violently. With a final, ear-splitting screech, it collapsed into the crystals, shattering them into glittering fragments. Darius crawled out from beneath it, coughing. R.A. Kalla rushed to him, grabbing his shoulders. Are you injured? Just dirty, he wheezed, and possibly traumatized forever. She exhaled in relief, a sound far gentler than a warrior's sigh should be. Her claws brushed dust from his back. You fight well human. Darius, he corrected. Darius, she repeated softly, tasting the name. Her hand lingered longer than necessary. For a heartbeat, they just looked at each other. The cavern glowed softly around them, crystals humming with residual energy. In the dim blue light, her golden eyes seemed to burn. Escape from a labyrinth. With the creature dead, they continued deeper into the caverns. The walls eventually narrowed, then opened into a wide shaft of swirling wind. A natural elevator created by the fault system. R.A. Kella looked upward. This air column leads to the surface. You're telling me this is a giant space air blast elevator? Yes. He stared up the roaring tunnel. And we're supposed to ride it? It is the only path. They exchanged a single look, half fear, half trust. Then they stepped into the updraft. Wind howled around them, lifting them like leaves. Darius grabbed R.A. Kalla's hand, instinctively. She squeezed back, her claws careful against the skin. They shot upward to the shaft, past spiraling stone, glowing cracks, drifting dust, until finally, sunlight blinded them. They burst onto the surface, rolling across a high plateau. Darius groaned. I'm never complaining about elevators again. R.A. Kalla stood first, offering her hand. On your feet, warrior. When he took her hand, electricity seemed to pass between them. Not literal, but something just as real. The final choice. Human drones buzzed overhead. A human patrol transport was approaching fast. Scanning the landscape, Darius froze. That's my people. R.A. Kalla's expression dimmed. Then, here our paths divide. He turned to her sharply. What? No, we've made it this far. Darius. She cupped his cheek gently with a clawed hand. Your people will never accept a Zarkai warrior walking beside you. You saved me as much as I saved you. Perhaps. She swallowed. But if I walk with you now, I will be caged, interrogated, and used. The patrol transport descended, kicking up dust. They'll listen, he insisted. I'll make them. You cannot unmake war with words, she whispered. He grabbed her hand, desperate. All right, Kella, don't go. Her eyes softened, brimming with something raw, something she fought to hide. You removed my armor. You bore my weight. You shared danger with me. That bond, she touched her chest, is real, but I cannot follow where it would destroy you. The patrol doors opened. Human soldiers stepped out, aiming rifles. Commander Holt, stand down. R.A. Kalla stepped back. Her silhouette shimmered in the sunlight, tall and powerful. This is not farewell, she said. What does that mean? He whispered. She smirked faintly. I owe a life debt. I intend to fulfill it. He felt his breath catch. You'll find me? No. She leaned close. I will come to you when the war ends, or when you need me most. Before he could speak, she activated a stealth flare, her figure flickering into near invisibility. R.A. Calla. Remember the bond, Darius Holt. Her fading voice echoed. For armor can be worn again, but honor cannot be broken. And then she vanished into the heat-shimmering horizon. Darius stood alone as the soldiers approached, dust swirling around him. But he wasn't truly alone. The mark of her claws still warmed his cheek, and deep inside he knew the story between them was far from over. This ending was only the beginning.